I never thought I would be the guy who writing history like this. I have been married to my wife, Lisa, for 10 years. We have 2 sons, 8 years, 5 years, and I thought our marriage was solid. Sure, we had our ups and downs, but I never imagined she would betray me like this. It all started about a year ago when Lisa started using a specific Bolt driver, some guy named Kevin. At first, it made sense. She does not drive, and Kevin was reliable. He was always on time, and she said he was polite. I had no reason to be suspicious. In fact, I even appreciated that she found someone she trusted. Then I started noticing small things. She would mention him a lot. Kevin said this, Kevin recommended that restaurant, Kevin is such a great guy. I joked about it at first, saying she should marry Kevin since she talked about him so much. She rolled her eyes and told me not to be ridiculous. I laughed it off because I trusted her. But then she started going out more. At first, it was just grocery trips, but then she started meeting friends, going to the gym, and needing fresh air. And every single time, Kevin was her driver. She even had him pick up the kids sometimes. I should have seen the signs. She started dressing up more, wearing perfume just to go shopping. She was constantly on her phone, smiling at her screen. Our intimacy completely died down, and any time I brought it up, she made me feel like I was being needy. One night, she came home way later than she said she would. She smelled like cologne, definitely not hers. I asked her about it and she snapped at me, saying I was paranoid. That was the first time I really felt something was off. Still, I ignored my gut feeling. I did not want to believe my wife, the mother of my children, could do something like that. But I had no idea that I was about to have my entire world shattered. I tried to push my doubts aside. I told myself I was overthinking, that Lisa would never do something like that. We had been together for 10 years, she was my wife, my partner, the mother of my kids. She would not throw all that away for some random Bolt driver. But the signs kept piling up. Lisa became more distant. She barely spoke to me unless it was about the kids or something she needed. When I tried to be affectionate, she would pull away, saying she was tired or stressed. I started feeling like a roommate instead of a husband. And Kevin? Oh, he was still around. Always conveniently available whenever Lisa needed a ride. I started paying attention, tracking when she left and when she came back. The timelines didn't add up. A trip to the store should not take 3 hours. A quick coffee with a friend should not last until midnight. One night, I decided to test something. Lisa said she was going to a late yoga class. She got dressed up, leggings, makeup, perfume. Who wears perfume to yoga? I played along, kissed her on the cheek, and told her to have fun. As soon as she walked out the door, I checked the app on her tablet. She had booked a ride. With Kevin. I grabbed my keys and followed her. I did not even know what I was expecting to find, but my gut told me I had to see it for myself. And what I saw, it nearly made me sick. Lisa was not going to yoga. She was in the back seat of Kevin's car, laughing, touching his arm, leaning in way too close. The way she looked at him, it was not how you look at your driver. It was how you look at a man you want. I felt my blood turn cold. I wanted to march over there, rip the door open, and demand answers. But I held back. I needed proof. If Lisa was lying to me, I was going to catch her red-handed. So I waited. And it did not take long before I got my answer. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. I watched as Lisa and Kevin sat there, talking and laughing like they were on a damn date. She was supposed to be at yoga. Not in some Bolt driver's car, giggling like a schoolgirl. My heart was pounding, but I forced myself to stay calm. I needed more than just suspicion, I needed proof. So I followed them. Kevin pulled out of the parking lot and I kept a few cars behind. They drove for about 15 minutes before pulling into a quiet residential area. No restaurants, no cafes, no gyms. Just a row of apartment buildings. Lisa stepped out of the car like she had done it 100 times before. No hesitation. No second-guessing. Kevin followed and they walked inside together. I sat there in shock. This was it. The moment I could no longer lie to myself. Lisa was cheating on me. I did not even know how long I sat there, staring at that building, trying to process what was happening. A part of me wanted to storm in there, kick down the door, and catch them in the act. Another part of me wanted to drive away, pretend I never saw anything, and go back to my life before I knew the truth. But I could not do that. Instead, I pulled out my phone and took pictures, Lisa walking in, Kevin right beside her, the apartment number. I had no idea what I was going to do with them, but I needed something. I waited for almost an hour. She did not come out. Finally, I drove home. My hands were shaking, my mind racing. How the hell was I supposed to act normal after this? When Lisa finally came home later that night, she walked in like nothing had happened. She gave me a half-hearted hey and started scrolling on her phone. I forced myself to ask, how was yoga? She did not even look up. Good. I feel so refreshed. The sheer audacity of that line nearly made me laugh. I looked at her, really looked at her, and I realized something. I had no idea who my wife was anymore. I sat there watching her, my so-called wife, scrolling on her phone like she hadn't just spent the evening in another man's apartment. My stomach twisted in knots. I wanted to confront her right then and there. Slam my phone down on the table, show her the pictures, and demand the truth. But I knew Lisa. She was a master manipulator. If I came at her without solid, undeniable proof, she would gaslight me into oblivion. So I played along. I nodded like I believed her. Glad to hear it, I said. She just hummed in response, still glued to her phone. Probably texting Kevin. I clenched my fists under the table. That night, I barely slept. I kept replaying everything in my head, every late-night errand, every time she dismissed my concerns, every lie she had fed me. My wife was cheating on me. And she thought I was too stupid to figure it out. Fine. If she wanted to play games, I would play too. The next day, I took a sick day from work. As soon as Lisa left to grab coffee with a friend, Kevin, obviously, I started digging. First, I checked our bank statements. Sure enough, there were multiple charges for hotel rooms. All under Lisa's name. The most recent one? Just last week. Then, I found an old phone she had stopped using months ago. I charged it up, and when it turned on, I went straight to her messages. Bingo. Texts from Kevin. And not just innocent, thanks for the ride messages. Full-blown, disgusting, affair-level texts. I can't wait to see you tonight. I've been thinking about you all day. God, you feel so good. I swear, I'm addicted to you. I love you, baby. I wish you were mine. I nearly threw up. Lisa had not just been sleeping with Kevin, she was in love with him. And the worst part? She was lying to my face every single day. I took screenshots of everything and sent them to myself. My hands were shaking, my heart pounding, but I forced myself to stay calm. This was no longer just about my marriage. This was about making sure I did not get screwed over when this all blew up. Lisa had no idea, but the game had just changed. I sat there, staring at the messages, my whole body shaking with rage. I love you, baby. Those words echoed in my head like a sick joke. My wife was saying that to some random Bolt driver like I did not even exist. I had all the proof I needed. The pictures. The hotel receipts. The messages. There was no talking her way out of this. But I was not about to confront her just yet. No, Lisa had been lying to me for months. Letting her think she was still getting away with it? That was my next move. So, I waited. That evening, she came home acting normal, like she had not just spent hours wrapped up with her boyfriend. She kissed me on the cheek, had the audacity to kiss me, and sat down with the kids like everything was fine. I watched her, studying every move she made. The fake smiles, the forced laughter. She had perfected the art of deception. I wondered how long she had been doing this, how many nights I had kissed her goodnight while she was thinking about him. Later that night, I made a decision. I was going to divorce her, but I was going to do it on my terms. I started planning. First, I contacted a lawyer. I laid everything out: Lisa's affair, the proof, the fact that we had 2 kids involved. My lawyer told me to keep quiet for now. Play dumb. Gather everything before making a move. Next, I started backing up evidence. Screenshots, call logs, bank statements. I copied everything onto a USB and stored it at my office, somewhere Lisa would never think to look. Then I began preparing for the inevitable meltdown. Because Lisa? She was not the type to take responsibility. She was going to lie, cry, scream, whatever it took to make herself the victim. And when that happened, I needed to be ready. The hardest part was pretending everything was normal. Acting like I didn't know. Sleeping beside her, eating dinner as a family, making small talk. It was torture. But every time I felt myself about to crack, I reminded myself, she thinks she's smart. She thinks she's getting away with it. But she has no idea what's coming. And then, just when I thought I had everything under control, Lisa made a mistake. A big one. I was playing the long game, staying quiet, gathering every last bit of evidence. But Lisa? She got sloppy. She got comfortable. And that is what led to her biggest mistake. It was a Friday night. She told me she was going out for drinks with the girls. By now, I already knew that was code for meeting Kevin. So I smiled, kissed her on the cheek, and told her to have fun. The second she walked out the door, I got in my car and followed her. She ordered a Bolt, no surprise there, and guess who showed up? Kevin. I stayed far enough behind so she would not notice, but I kept my eyes locked on them. I expected them to go to his apartment, maybe a hotel. But Lisa, in all her arrogance, decided to take things closer to home. Kevin pulled up to a parking lot near a quiet park less than 10 minutes from our house. I watched as they stayed in the car, laughing, kissing, touching each other like two horny teenagers. I felt my blood boil. Then the car started moving. Not driving, rocking. That was it. I threw my car in park, got out and walked straight up to them. No hesitation. No second guessing. I yanked the door open. And there they were. Lisa with Kevin in the back seat. For a second, nobody moved. Lisa's eyes went wide. Kevin just sat there, looking like a deer caught in headlights. Then she screamed. "What the hell is wrong with you?" she shrieked, scrambling to cover herself. I just stood there, completely calm. "That's what you're going with? Not an apology? Not an explanation? You can't just show up like this," she stammered, her face red. "You're crazy." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Crazy? Lisa, you're cheating on me in a taxi, and I'm the crazy one." Kevin, who had been silent this whole time, finally spoke up. "Look, man, I turned to him, and he shut up real quick. "Not a word, Kevin. You've done enough." Lisa, meanwhile, was still playing the victim. "You had no right to follow me. You were violating my privacy." I just shook my head. "Privacy? You mean the privacy to making love with another man while I stay home taking care of our kids?" That was when she switched tactics. The tears started. The fake sobbing. I was lonely, okay? You never pay attention to me anymore. I needed this." I let out a slow breath. "You needed to cheat on me? You needed to betray our family? Lisa, we have 2 kids. What the hell were you thinking?" She sniffled, shaking her head. It just happened. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's not like I love him." Kevin flinched. "Wait, what?" I had to stop myself from laughing at the look on his face. This idiot really thought she loved him. Lisa, realizing she had just screwed up, quickly backtracked. "I mean, I care about you, Kev, but I held up a hand. "Enough. I am done listening to this garbage." I took one last look at Kevin, then turned back to my wife. "We are done, Lisa. Expect divorce papers." Her entire face changed. The tears stopped instantly. "You're divorcing me? Over this?" I stared at her, completely dead inside. "You blew up our marriage for a few quick rides with Kevin. Now you get to live with it." She started screaming. Saying I was being dramatic. Saying I was ruining our family. Saying I would never find someone better than her. I just walked away. And the best part? I had recorded the whole thing. I walked back to my car, Lisa still shrieking behind me like a lunatic. I did not even turn around. I had heard enough. I sat in the driver's seat, gripping the wheel, my heart pounding, not from sadness, not from regret, but from pure, cold rage. This woman, this lying, cheating, manipulative woman had the nerve to scream at me like I was the villain in this. Like I was the problem? I glanced at my phone. The recording was crystal clear. Every lie. Every excuse. Every desperate attempt to manipulate me. It was all there. Good. I took a deep breath, then pulled out of the parking lot, leaving Lisa and her boy toy to figure out what the hell they were going to do next. That was no longer my problem. As soon as I got home, I forwarded the recording to my lawyer. His response? "This is gold. Don't say anything to her yet. We'll hit her with the paperwork first thing Monday." That night, Lisa came home acting like nothing had happened. Like she had not just been caught half-naked with another man in the back seat of a Bolt. She walked in, tossed her purse on the counter, and actually had the audacity to sigh dramatically like she was the one who had been wronged. I sat at the kitchen table waiting. She barely looked at me. "Are we really doing this?" she muttered. I stayed silent. She let out an annoyed sigh and crossed her arms. "You know, if you weren't such a boring, emotionally unavailable husband, maybe I wouldn't have needed to look elsewhere." I stared at her, completely expressionless. I have the entire thing recorded. Her mouth snapped shut. Then she did what she always did, she tried to flip the script. You recorded me? That's so messed up. That's illegal or something." I leaned back in my chair. "Actually, in this state, as long as one party consents to a recording, it's perfectly legal." And guess what? I consented. Her face turned beet red. "Oh, so you're just going to blackmail me now?" I almost laughed. "Blackmail? No, Lisa. I do not need to blackmail you. I just need this for court." She froze. "Court?" I nodded. "Yeah. You know, for the divorce." And that was when the meltdown started. One second, she was furious, calling me every name in the book. The next, she was crying, begging me to think about the kids. Then she started bargaining, "We can fix this, we can go to therapy, I will never see him again." I did not say a single word. Just sat there and let her dig herself into a deeper hole. Finally, when she realized none of it was working, she screamed, "Fine. You want a divorce? I will take everything. The house, the kids, everything. you will be left with nothing. I smiled. Actually, Lisa, that is where you were wrong. Because what she did not know. I had already made my move.